Don't Mess with Grandma. Evaluating Kim today is Jimmy Winters. Jimmy, can you please read what Kim's speech objectives are?
Certainly. Kim's objectives today: select an appropriate outline which allows listeners to easily follow and understand your speech. Make your message clear with supporting material directly contributing to the message. Use appropriate transitions when moving from one idea to another. Create a strong opening and conclusion. And her time is 5 to 7 minutes.
I introduce Miss Kim Clesynski. Don't mess with Grandma. Don't mess with Grandma, Kim Clesynski.
December 7th, 1941. As the world and the United States was reeling from what was happening in Hawaii, my grandmother was giving birth to my mother in Cleveland, Ohio. So she was born on December 7th. She's going to be 70 years old next week. And so my two brothers and sister and I have been thinking a lot about her birthday and what to do for this big day for her. And she's a little hard to buy for. On her 60th birthday, she went skydiving. So she kind of does a little of everything. But today what I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit about my fabulous mom, and then tell you a story, or it's not really a story, it's an incident that happened that she was involved in, and I hope it's not a shaggy dog story. Well, my mom is one of the busiest people I know. She's been retired for about 5 years, and she always has places to go and people to see. She has a little bit of a heavy foot. She likes to drive. She owns a 55 T-Bird, which you can see down there. It was in a parade a couple months ago. 79 Corvette, a little white car that she drives around. And then she has this SUV that she can cart her grandkids around and her skis in the back. So she is covered with cars. My brother-in-law recently said to me, which I thought was really funny, is she might not know where she's going, but she always gets there fast. My mom, for the last few years, has helped me with my office, so I get to see her a lot, which is really nice. Of all of us, I get to spend the most amount of time with her. And my kids are the most fortunate because she just lives down the street from us, so she gets the best, they get the best of her, and she gets to go to every game and every event. She's so supportive of them, but she's the type of grandma that you don't mess with because you just don't misbehave. If she tells you to do something, you do it. And so even though she's pretty strict, they adore her and they love her and they love spending time with her. I really admire my mom for her grace and resilience. My dad left the marriage after 43 years, and I know as the kid of a divorce, I was 40, and it was still tough. Whether you're 10 years old or 40, I think it's just a rotten thing to have happen. But she has persevered and has done really well. She's always up for everything, and she truly lives her life to the fullest. She has traveled extensively, especially in the last couple of years. She's always up for doing a trip, and she's always on the cheap, so it's never like these luxury kind of things that she does. She went backpacking with us when I was in my 20s, so I'm not sure how old she would have been, but she carried a big backpack, and we did a month in Europe, and she did it, so she's always up for anything. But a few years ago, I want to tell you about a story that happened. She was helping me move my office. I had a little house in downtown Sparks that I used as an office, and I was moving, so she was helping me along with my employees, and we had rented a big pod that was out in the side of the street, big white pod, and I was carrying a box down the stairs, and all of a sudden I hear the car pull up. I see the car pull up, and she rolls down her window and she yells, "Call 911, call 911. And it's like, oh my God. So I threw the box down, I ran out there, and some kids had just graffitied the whole side of the pod. And so she goes taking off after him. And I run inside. Okay, I'm gonna call 911. So I went inside, and called 911, and I've never called 911 before. I didn't know that it takes time. I went to Reno, and they transferred me to Sparks, and all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, she's gonna kill herself. So I slammed down the phone, and I go running out into the street I guess I was gonna get in my car and go find her. I don't know what I was gonna do, but get out into the street, and there she is, like a block and a half down in the middle of the road, driving the car with her window down, marching one of these kids back. And you could see her, I could just see her going, you know, she was like yelling at this kid and making him come back. And what had happened is they had run around the corner and they decided to split up. So she went after the one that had the shoe polish, it happened to be, in his hand, and cornered him in an alley and made him come back. She was gonna have him clean this up. So she's marching this kid back down. So I went and got some soap, and he's cleaning it up, and I went back to call the police, and I had an employee out there with her, so she didn't die. So he's cleaning this up, and the whole time she is just ripping on him and asking him questions, and where does he go to school, and asking him about his family. And so at the end of it, she goes, if I ever see you in this neighborhood again with that doing graffiti, I will go to your school and I will hunt you down. So can you imagine what this kid was feeling like when he stood here? That, oh, I hope it has scarred him for life. I really do. So I ended up calling the police, and they ended up getting there really quickly, and they caught him down the road, and it wasn't his first time that he had done something like this. So it was good. And she didn't tell me exactly what the police said to her, but I have a feeling that they were not the nicest to her about, you know, coming after some, you know, they towered over her. They were big kids. I don't know what they could have done to her, but that's just how she is, and that's what she went after, and that's my mom. And I think the moral of the story is for her is you don't mess with grandma, because she will get you, for sure. Well, with my mom, I really have to say that we've been through everything, and as a teenager, I was rotten, and we only argued, and you know, I think that we did not get along very well, and I didn't think I liked her very much. And I remember when my kids were young, there was a couple times, especially like the first time it happened, I would yell at my kids, and I'd have to like suck it back in. It's like, oh my God, I've turned into my mother. It's like, I don't want to do that. But now it's like, she's my best friend, and I just hope someday that I can be half as, you know, strong and fabulous as she is. So finally, coming back to what we do for her birthday, we have come up with the idea of we're taking her down to Las Vegas to the NASCAR track, where she gets training and she gets to go around the track like 8 times. So we're really hoping that that's the perfect gift.